What up, guys, and welcome back to another podcast. And I'm joined again with Stephen. In the corner we have Callum playing the game, but he might join us partway through. So this podcast is going to be about weird habits. I'm going to be saying some weird habits to Steve, and he's going to give his reaction to some of them. So yeah, we're going to see what Steve thinks about these. Some of them are a bit weird, some are fairly normal, and we'll see if either of us actually
the weird habits.
Yeah. We're going to see how it is, and I'm going to say the first one. So the first habit that I actually found was...
on a nun.
Having to masturbate in only white socks.
Is this one of your habits?
No, it's not one of mine.
Oh, right. I just get annoyed when you masturbate. Well, not when you masturbate, when I go to masturbate. And you make sure there's nothing around. I close the door so that you're not there. Because obviously masturbating in front of you would be a bit weird. But the thing that annoys me is I go to masturbate in a quiet room, I want a bit of me time. And the guys will understand what I mean, but you get to that point of no return when you lock on and your legs start shaking, don't they? Your legs start going, there's no turning back, and you open your eyes, there's a fucking cat sat in the bed watching me. Why do I have to watch? Dogs are as bad. I would get really annoyed. And then, you toss it off. Sorry, wrong choice of words there. You throw the cat off, don't you? And it just jumps back up. It's persistent. Cats are perverts.
And that's why you have two of them.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on masturbating only into a white sock?
Only into a white sock?
Yeah,
I don't
in only a white sock.
Well, I don't masturbate into socks anyway. If I'm honest.
I know people who do. Being just white is a little bit of a weird one.
Yeah, no, it's a bit odd, isn't it? Saying that, I know a friend of mine that does into socks.
Yeah.
A priest went round his house. I mean, his sock drawer apparently is a shrine. Priest said every sperm is sacred.
The next habit is a fairly normal one. I know lots of people who do this, but can't sleep without a fan. If fan turns off, instantly wakes up. In my personal opinion about sleeping on a fan, I personally can't do it.
I can't. The noise annoys me.
Yeah.
As much as I enjoy a good blow as well when I'm in bed, it just... I can't do it. The fans do annoy me. I mean, I'd rather have a bit of aircon during the day and switch it off a few hours before bed. Winter, I like going to bed. I like leaving the windows open and getting into a cold bed and warming myself up. So
we're going to the third habit. I personally think this is really weird. Now, you may think differently, but smelling books.
I do that.
Really?
Sometimes, I don't know. Like, you pick up paper sometimes, or newspapers have their own smell, don't they? Like money. Money's got its own smell.
If you say so.
Slightly more unusual than the plastic fibres, because obviously if you've got a fetish over the Queen, they're easy to wipe off, aren't they? But most old money has, it's got a smell to it, and magazines have, a unique smell.
Right.
And so do some certain books. It's weird, I don't know, some smell nice, but then you get some that smell funny.
Smelling books, I think, is quite weird. I see no reason why...
Sperm books?
Smelling.
Oh, right, sorry.
I see no reason to go and sniff a book, especially if it's someone from a library or something like that, because you never know who's going to.
Was it a scratch and sniff one? Do you remember those?
No.
Oh, I don't know. It was when I was a kid. I don't know if it was a magazine or a children's thing, but you literally scratched the page, and it smelled. It was quite nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, there might be an apple tree, and you just scratch the apples, and they'd smell of apple. Porn mags were amazing. If I wear a shirt when I have a shit, right, even if it's not hanging down below my arse, I either have to take my shirt off to go for a poo. I do. Sometimes I take my shirt off to go for a poo. I don't know why. It just gets in the way. And otherwise, even if it's not touching my penis or my bottom, I have to lift my shirt up. And sometimes I sit like this. Hold that. I do. I don't know if anyone else does this, but sometimes when I have a poo, I sit like that. I have to push my back a bit like that so it doesn't touch. I would just get funny about things like that.
Oh my god, that is a bit fucked up. I suppose
Another habit,
I don't understand why.
Like, does it? I know it sounds a bit disgusting, but if you have like a really big poo, you know the ones that feel like you're shitting a broken light bulb, those big ones, the ones that are too big to bite off with your bum, right? You do one of that. You do one of those sometimes. I don't know if it's just me. This is a bit of a disgusting habit, but you want to have a little look at it afterwards, don't you? You know, you sort of feel a bit proud.
I think there's a habit of
because you get
probably most men.
You get those ones
to have a look.
Yeah, you get those ones that are so big. You just, do you know what I mean? You get the girlfriend in, don't you? Come and have a look at this. Look at this. Fuck me. Where is it? It's over there on the scales.
So another habit that I've got is counting steps while walking.
I do that sometimes, yeah. Or I guess sometimes. So if I'm walking to a crossing, I'll try and guess how many steps there will be between now and that crossing, and then I count them and see how close I am. If I'm really far off of it, then I sort of get funny and think it's something bad going to happen to me, like superstition sort of shit. Because you never know. But that's one of my... I do that sometimes. I like doing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't go like proper loopy and walk on the cracks in the pavements and stuff like that.
So out of so far the 4 that I've read, 2 of them you do. The next habit, sniffing fingers after eating. And not in a dirty way.
No.
I think that would be a little bit weird. Like,
I sniff my fingers sometimes after cooking, like to make sure they don't smell really garlicky if I've been chopping up garlic, because I don't like that if they smell like really, really garlicky. Other than that,
smelling fingers after eating, I suppose. I don't honestly know of anyone that has ever admitted to it or that I've ever seen.
It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose. I don't know anyone really that's done that sort of thing.
I suppose with like garlic, I can understand smelling your hands because like it's a strong smell, so you'll be able to smell it from a distance. But like, actually, physically, after eating, putting your hand right up to your nose to try and smell whatever's on your hand is a bit weird. Like, no offence to anyone who does any of these habits, honestly.
So what other weird habits are we talking about?
Feeling uncomfortable when TV volume is on. Now that, when I read that, was just like, what do you watch TV mute? That,
Well, some people like silent movies, I suppose, don't they?
well, yeah, but it would be just so confusing trying to watch the TV with no volume at all. Like,
Especially if you're watching a music DVD.
yeah. Or any film, actually, because you've got the build-up.
Mouth wide.
But then, like with any film, music is used to like build the tension on a lot of things. So how are you meant to be able to tell when the tension has been built if you are feeling uncomfortable when the volume is on?
That is an odd one.
Forming words out of letters on license plates.
Oh, I love doing that.
I do that.
I like making rude sentences.
I either make words out of the letters on the license plates, or I try and do for like every letter, try and do a word for each, and then try and make a little sentence out of it, usually with the last 3 because 3 letters. Now this, I know both of us do. Actually, all 3 of us in this house do.
Oh, I know which one it is. When you tie your foreskin up in the shower and then try and have a wee and it all blooms up.
You're fucking weird. No.
Oh, right, sorry, I thought it was...
I think you're on your own on that one.
Alright.
It's stroking your hair all the time.
I do this a lot. I like playing with it.
I like brushing through my hair. I also play with my beard a little bit as well.
That might be why I've got a receded hairline. It's either that or it's...
You pulled them all out.
It's either that or it's too many U-turns on the bed sheets.
But no, like stroking your hair is something that I think all of us do here.
Yeah, bit odd if you're stroking other people's hair.
Yeah,
I got told off for that once. I just said personal space.
I know
Then
a
again,
couple
it was
of
their
people who do
pubic
that.
hair.
I do know a couple of people who do that, stroke other people's hair. It's alright if you're a couple. Stroking your hair, I think, is a fairly normal thing, but definitely a habit that people do. I don't know whether everyone would classify it as normal, but like I do that every day, at least 3 or 4 times probably. checking that you haven't gone blind. Like, there was a caption with this when I saw it of a person like covering one of his eyes and seeing if he had gone blind. And I just don't understand why you would do that. Like, you would know if you're blind. You wouldn't have to cover your eye.
You would, or one of them sticks with,
Oh my god!
or one of them long sticks with a ball on the end.
Oh, please.
What? That's what blind people have, isn't it?
Yeah, but
And of course, fucking, it's not easy, is it? It can be scary. I mean, do not touch, perhaps the scariest thing to read in Braille. It's just silly, isn't it? People checking they're not blind. You know if you're blind. I mean, I wanked into a blind girl's face once. You didn't see that coming. You know, you just know, don't you?
punchline after punchline.
It's like if you're deaf. You know if you're deaf because you can't hear anything, can you? You can see, but you can't hear. Like, if you hold one ear, it's not going to make any difference, is it? You're deaf in both ears. And deaf, you shouldn't take the piss out of deaf people either, because it's really frustrating me, because I dated a deaf person once, and that was awkward. Left me for a deaf friend of theirs. To be honest, I should have noticed the signs. When we were in bed one night and she started sleep talking, nearly took my fucking eye out.
So, the next habit, and this once again is something I know I do, I'm pretty sure you do, talking to yourself.
I do it in my head more than anything. I talk to myself.
If I'm on my own, I'll speak out loud. Like, I know people find that weird, but I will literally have full conversations with myself. Sometimes I don't even realise that I'm actually talking to myself, which is weird. But
Bradley is schizophrenic, but as I'm sure you know, he's good people.
if you get his comedy, hit the like button down below and comment saying that you get his comedy. Like, I tend to find myself a lot of the time actually having conversations with myself. First thing in the morning, I tend to be up on my own, and like.
Well, that's natural.
So while I'm alone, I'll end up having a conversation with myself, talking about what I'm going to do for the day and stuff like that. Usually, like, trying to work over my day, what's going to happen. And then probably on the way to work, I'll have a random conversation with myself. I seem like a complete psycho from explaining this. But, like, I'm pretty sure 95% of people will talk to themselves. I know at work, people I work with always are getting caught talking to themselves.
It's not a bad shirt, is it? No.
So, we got two more. This one I found a bit weird. Covering your mirror when going to sleep.
I think some people do it because of ghosts, I've heard. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but some people, I don't know how it works,
Really?
but yeah.
Like, I see no reason why you would cover a mirror.
I don't
But then
know.
again, I don't
think-
have one in my
I
room
think
anyway.
apparently people say it's like the spirit looking at you that you can't see through a mirror. I don't know. It confuses me as well.
Like, I don't mind people doing that, but, like, I don't see the logic behind it, and that's what gets me. Like, I like trying to see a bit of logic behind things. Covering a mirror doesn't really do a lot. And the last one that I found briefly was tapping your fingers to beat.
I do that sometimes.
I tend to tap my feet more than anything, not so much my fingers.
I tap my feet or my fingers down that sometimes.
I find my feet is more of a thing, which is really weird because, like, musically, I don't play drums or anything like that, so there's no reason.
It makes me laugh when you watch drummers and they go like all goldfish mode to their beat, don't they? Like you watch Roger Taylor when he's drumming, he sort of in each beat he does, his mouth goes to it. He goes like that. So
I never noticed that.
Women go all goldfish, don't they? When they put like eye mascara on, they do that thing where they go like that.
Well, I suppose that's all we got left for today. Anything you want to say?
Cunnilingus, just because I think it's a funny word.
Cunnilingus.
Yeah.
Isn't that a place in Ireland?
Possibly.
Pretty sure there's a castle, Cunnilingus. Pretty sure I watched an episode on the castles with Cunnilingus. Have this weird thing at the moment watching
History stuff.
history about castles.
I mean, I've learnt a lot watching Time Team. No, I have, like, because I love history, and I've just learned that a lot of ancient people like drinking out of broken cups and things.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And interestingly enough, because I do a bit of digging and history stuff, I dug up an old dog, dead dog, obviously. Then I took it to Sotheby's to be examined, and this guy said to me, he said, "Do you have any idea how valuable this dog is? It's such a rare breed of dog. Have you any idea what this would fetch if it were alive?" I said, "I don't know, sticks."
You always do that joke. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have, comment down below letting us know what you want us to talk about next time. This is Topic Thursday over and done with. Hope you enjoyed. Hit that like button, subscribe, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Need a bet.
They've got my phone, haven't they?
We haven't got the phone.
You've got the phone. Well, where is it then?
I don't know. This is something we have to deal with on a daily basis.
I know you. Oh, this isn't. Right, my phone. I'm gonna find my phone.
Yeah.
Right, phone. Hello.
It's Callum.
Naughty. Naughty.
Naughty.
Naughty.